Welcome to London Property Digest, your essential 10-minute audio recap for staying informed on London's property market.
That's right.
Today, we're diving into something a bit different.
Okay.
The world of overseas tax evasion and what it might mean for you.
Right.
As a London property enthusiast, you might be wondering,
Yeah.
how are these even connected?
Well, it's interesting. This recent Financial Times article
Okay.
really points to a growing trend of UK residents having trouble navigating the complexities of overseas tax laws.
Oh, really?
It seems that even seasoned investors sometimes can find themselves in kind of murky waters.
Murky waters, that's a great way to put it. And the article actually mentions
Yeah.
a surprising jump
Right.
in the number of people admitting to not paying enough tax on their foreign assets.
Exactly. And it's like
Right.
HMRC is becoming this massive data crunching machine.
HMRC, that's the UK tax authority, right?
That's right, the UK's tax authority.
Yeah.
And they're using all these sophisticated algorithms to cross-check information and identify these potential red flags.
So it's like they're playing financial detective now.
Yes, exactly. And when they do,
Okay.
it's not like a full-blown audit right away. It's more of a gentle nudge.
Okay.
Hey, we're watching, they actually call them nudge letters.
Nudge letters. So
Yeah.
they're not going straight for the jugular,
Yeah.
but they're definitely making their presence known.
Right. And this crackdown is fueled by these new international rules called the Common Reporting Standard.
Okay.
You can kind of think of it as like this global network
Mm.
where over 120 countries, including those famous tax havens,
Really?
are now sharing financial data.
So there's really no place to hide anymore.
Not really even Switzerland, and the Cayman Islands are spilling the beans now.
Wow. So even those notorious tax havens are having to open up.
Exactly. And it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
Starting in 2027, crypto exchanges will be part of this data sharing network.
Oh, wow. So even crypto investors won't be able to fly under the radar anymore.
Exactly. HMRC is stepping up its game, and transparency is the name of the game now.
Okay, so we've got HMRC playing financial detective.
Yeah.
This global network shining a light on hidden assets.
Uh-huh.
But how does this impact London's property market?
Well, that's the million-pound question, isn't it?
Is a big one.
Think about it. HMRC estimated undeclared foreign income from UK residents was around $300 million back in 2018-2019.
That's a staggering amount.
Imagine how much that figure has grown
Yeah.
and how much of that money might have found its way into London property.
So you're saying some London properties might have been purchased with undeclared overseas income?
It's certainly a possibility, and now with HMRC cracking down on tax evasion, things could get interesting.
Interesting. How so?
Fewer overseas buyers able to use London property as a way to shield assets could mean less demand.
And less demand could potentially lead to
A shift in property prices.
a shift in property prices.
It's a bit like a domino effect.
Yeah.
One change in the global financial landscape can ripple all the way to the London property market.
Wow, that's a great point. We often think of the property market as this isolated entity, but it's really part of a much larger ecosystem.
Exactly. And this crackdown is a prime example of how global events can have very local impacts.
So what does all of this mean for someone interested in buying or selling property in London? Should they be worried?
I think it's less about worry and more about awareness.
Okay.
The increased scrutiny could lead to shifts in the market. Both buyers and sellers need to be aware of these changes and adjust their strategies accordingly.
So knowledge is power.
Absolutely. It's more important than ever to stay informed and make sure you're on the right side of the law.
This has been really insightful. Thanks for shedding light on this complex situation.
It's been my pleasure. It's always fascinating to explore these connections and consider the wider implications.
And for our listeners, if you want to stay up to date on the ever-changing London property market, be sure to. So what you're saying is this isn't just about overseas buyers. It's about anyone looking to invest in London property.
Precisely this increased scrutiny and the, potential shift in the market dynamics affects everyone.
Okay, you mentioned adjusting strategies.
Yeah.
What would that even look like for someone who wants to buy in London?
Well, for buyers, due diligence is going to be more crucial than ever before.
Right.
It's not just about checking the foundation and the neighborhood anymore.
Right.
You really need to understand the seller's situation.
Oh, okay.
Are they potentially selling because of these tax pressures?
So it's like a background check on the property itself.
Exactly. And for sellers, transparency is going to be key.
Mm-hmm.
Buyers are going to be more cautious now. They're going to be asking a lot more questions.
So being upfront about the property's history and any potential tax implications could really help build trust and maybe even expedite the whole selling process.
Absolutely. And this goes beyond individual buyers and sellers too.
Right.
Developers, real estate agents, even mortgage lenders. Everyone operating in the London property market needs to be aware of these changes.
So it really sounds like this is going to have a ripple effect throughout the whole industry.
It's a recalibration of sorts.
Yeah.
For a long time, London property has been seen as this safe haven for global wealth,
Right.
but now the rules of the game are changing.
So London property is still a good investment, but investors just need to be more savvy and more informed than ever before.
Precisely. It's not about shying away from the market, but about approaching it with this, new level of understanding and awareness.
We've talked a lot about the potential downsides,
Yeah.
but are there any potential upsides to this crackdown for the London property market?
That's a really interesting question. One potential upside is that it could create a more level playing field.
Okay.
By cracking down on tax evasion, HMRC is essentially trying to make sure everyone is playing by the same rules.
Right.
This could lead to a more stable and sustainable market in the long run.
So less speculation,
Yeah.
more genuine investment based on actual value and potential.
Exactly. And it could also lead to a shift towards more transparency and accountability across the board.
That's a good thing for any market.
It sounds like this HMRC crackdown is forcing the London property market to grow up a bit.
In a way, yes. It's moving away from being a bit of a Wild West towards a more mature and regulated market.
Which ultimately could be a good thing in the long run.
Absolutely. It's like pruning a tree.
Yeah.
You might lose a few branches in the process, but it just makes the tree healthier and stronger overall.
This is a lot to digest. Is there anything else you think our listeners should keep in mind as they navigate all these changes?
I think the most important thing is to just stay informed.
Okay.
Keep an eye on the news, read articles, talk to experts, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
And don't panic.
Right. Change can be unsettling, but it also creates opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Those who are well-informed and adaptable will be the best positioned to thrive in this evolving market.
This has been a fantastic deep dive. Thanks for sharing your insights.
My pleasure. I always enjoy exploring these complex issues. And to our listeners, if you want to stay ahead of the curve in the London property market, be sure to. It feels like so much has changed in the London property market.
Yeah, it really has.
Even in just the last few years.
Yeah, we've seen Brexit, the pandemic, rising interest rates,
Yeah.
and now this global crackdown on tax evasion.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It definitely is. But as we've discussed,
Yeah.
change also brings opportunities.
So what advice would you give to someone who's feeling overwhelmed by all of this?
I'd say just focus on the fundamentals.
Okay.
What are your goals?
Mhm.
What's your risk tolerance?
Right.
What kind of property are you looking for?
Okay.
Once you have a clear understanding of your own needs and priorities, it's a lot easier to kind of filter out all the noise and make informed decisions.
Yeah, that's great advice. It's easy to get caught up in the headlines and lose sight of what's important for you as an individual investor.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to seek out expert advice.
Right.
There are financial advisors, real estate agents, tax specialists who can really help you navigate the complexities of the market.
And of course, we're here to help as well.
That's right. London Property Digest is your go-to source for staying informed and up to date on everything happening in the London property market.
Yeah, we'll keep you informed and help you make sense of this ever-changing landscape.
So if you're looking for insightful analysis, expert perspectives, and, maybe a bit of humor along the way,
Of course.
be sure to subscribe to London Property Digest.
We're your guide to navigating the London property market, whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out.
Absolutely. And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll even help you uncover some hidden gems along the way.
That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening.
It's been a pleasure.
Subscribe to London Property Digest for the latest updates on the London property market.